Hey, my name is Darren. I'm at NISformance. We're back with Dan Evans' car. You probably know him from his company, Ghost Lighting. It's a pretty popular car. We originally posted a video in December on this car when we first got it running with the 6-speed transmission. That video was within an hour of actually getting it running, so the car was completely apart, nowhere near its final stage. Today, we're at the final stage. The car is going to be picked up this week, so we're just doing a general overview video of the 6-speed 7th gen swap. We tried to keep it factory as possible. Factory looking clutch pedal, I should say. Factory looking shifter location. So one thing we done was we kept this console factory as possible. These cars have a parking brake that's actually with your foot, so by putting the clutch pedal there wasn't really enough room for our liking to make it work. So we actually have an electronic e-brake that we fit underneath this console. Of course you can't see it, but here is the button. It's activated right now. And we can deactivate it just like that. You can hear it in here. That's just a nice feature that I think if Nissan would have done these 6-speed from the factory, they might would have used a electronic parking brake, because a lot of cars are coming like that from the factory. So I think that's just a pretty nice feature we have. Speaking of the console, on the outside it looks pretty much stock, but there's a lot of work that took place underneath here to make all this work. We can get in all the gears in this small window of movement here. It works perfect. Of course we have factory cup holders, which was a pretty big deal to keep. This car has a vent system, and it has vents in the rear, so we were able to keep those also, so you're not going to sit in the back burning up from not having no vents. Of course this car is turbo, so he's got some gauges and stuff, but obviously all the 6-speed swaps we do, they're not going to be turbo. Alright, we're going to crank it up. With this electronic e-brake, when the brake is activated, the factory brake light does work. So now I'm going to disengage the parking brake, and then that light turns off. Just a little safety feature. One thing on this transmission we use, reverse is forward and to the left. Factory reverse cam works no problem. No issues there. Now we're going to go under the hood. Alright, here we are. Like I said, this one's turbo. Most of the swaps definitely aren't going to be turbo. But you can't see the transmission really, but it's in there. We got a custom bracket for the clutch master cylinder. Try to make it look factory. There ain't too much you can really notice under here. We are testing out some Delrin front and rear prototype mounts. With this one being turbo, it just ripped the factory mounts. So more than likely on all the 6-speed swaps we do, we're going to use the Delrin front and rear mounts. One thing on this one we put quite a bit of time into was the clutch hydraulic system. This transmission we used has a factory type concentric slave cylinder similar to the 370Z, and it's plastic. If you're familiar with the 370, they have a pretty high fail rate with heavy duty clutches. So we just skipped the factory piece. We went ahead to an upgraded concentric slave cylinder. We've got custom stainless steel lines, and we got some custom brackets and stuff to make it work. So that's another thing we're going to implement on all the swaps. We're not going to use the factory weak stuff. We're just going to go ahead and upgrade the parts, and you don't have to worry about it. Of course, we put a JWT lightweight flywheel in here. No modifications needed for it. We got a stage 2 clutch in it, but for other swaps, you know, we'll have some options: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, whatever you want. So, you know, while we're trying to keep it factory as possible, we're also upgrading the weak points. I think it just makes sense to do that. A lot of these swaps, we're going to be offering headers for them. If you're familiar with these cars, to install headers is a lot of work, so it just makes sense to do it when all this is, the motor and the whole cradle's out of the car. So a basic setup would be a 6-speed swap, headers, intake, and a tune, and that's pretty much going to guarantee right at 300 horsepower at the wheels, if not more. We just got cams available for these engines, so we can do performance camshafts and anything you really want.